an Easter sunrise service poem that I wrote called Resurrection Morning. What do you say on a day like today, where many times the lines of death defeated have been repeated, heard over and over, yet fulfillment closer for us and all who know? So today, hear it anew, life in you, through Him made way, an incomparable day. Imagine, if you will, the sights, the sounds, the glory that abounds in this tale to be told, a story to behold of the majesty and mystery that have become the greatest story of history. What is it like to wake up from the dead after all had said He's not alive, but simply an archive cast to the wind of history, but was simply a mystery of flesh and bone, not God alone, and yet now lifeless, what some thought priceless was buried in a tomb deep, while few stood near to weep. Days before, He had been adorned with praise and song. In a ride not long, on a back of a foal, He rode over the knoll into the city triumphant with branches and trumpet, proclaiming Him King as the people sing. And then His arrest. Oh, what a mess. Laws broken, a prisoner token released to the people instead, beaten, bruised, insulted, and used, a crown of thorns on His head. Scourged beyond beauty. He said that His duty was His life for us to give, and yet is this how it goes when the whole universe knows the Savior dies for us to live? He spoke not a word, but more was heard than ever before was said. That crown of thorn on brow placed cruelly upon His head. The scourging of flesh, the tears so fresh as He carried the cross up the hill, a determined will, a purpose to fill, and yet even still He falls. A stranger that day the Roman calls to carry all, the beam, the burden, the weight, to march uphill of skull and kill, to steady the dying man's gait. The nails driven deep, the agony deeper, abandonment surely He felt. This was the day, or so it would seem, that the cruelest heart would melt. Instead, He heard curses and taunting, some surely yawning, another crucifixion of man, not knowing it was God in bodily form, a plan bearing the storm of sin's redemptive price, the agony, the exchange of one for many, that some would truly find life. He said from the cross to His mother, "Go home with my brother, not one of flesh, but of faith. For you He will care and bear the sorrow written all over your face." When at last He bowed His head, the soldier said, surely He was the Son of God. The universe shook, but some mistook that power and thought it a quake. But make no mistake, it was a way to make. The curtain was torn in two. Access permitted, the veil lifted, a new way made for you and the few that believe in the great exchange. But story not told, His body would fold as they brought Him down from the cross. Lifeless and limp, sparing no expense, Joseph saw to his burial cost. Provided a tomb, but more of a womb out of which would come. His followers numb and some dumb, they understood not what He taught. It's over, it's finished, His time diminished, or so that's what they thought. Stone in place, agent of grace wrapped in burial cloth. No breath, no life, no hope, no Christ. All, it seems, is lost. And yet, what is it like to wake up alive, knowing again you'll never die, but fly high in the sky to the sweet by and by, to meet the Lord? What a blessed morn, when eyes open and body rises to celestial skies, and our Maker so sweet and dear. He is near, right here. Don't fear. I see Him, the Lord calling me home. His beauty to behold, it's more than foretold. It's beyond expression. I'm trying to stress when you and I gain the prize, and in the glory we'll rise, and out of our graves will come. So what is it like for life to come back when all is black, sky as night, an angel bright, and the heavy stone rolled away? It's nothing less than Sunday best. It's called Resurrection Day. He burst forth from the womb. It wasn't a tomb, borrowed for only 3 days. The women assumed, the body exhumed, thieved, or stole away. Where is He taken? Sadly mistaken, that man is gardener not. No disappearance, but near He is, alive and well as He speaks. He calls her by name, and realization came. My Master, my Lord, and my God, you're alive and free. She would clearly see as she clung to His body once broken. And so He spoke when He said, tell Peter, tell John, tell James, tell the others, tell Mother, tell them the smother of death has been put to shame. Undefeated, He retreated to show Himself wherever He went. On the road He strode with 2 disciples, unknowing it was Him in the flesh, but they did their best when He broke the bread, and the words He said revealed Him for who He was. For 40 days He did the same, appearing here and there and everywhere to 500 or 1 to appear as the Son of God, raised from the dead just as He said. So what is it like to wake up alive, to no longer strive, but arrive at the prize of the upward call? Listen, y'all, the sights, the sounds, the glory that abounds, it is joy, it is life, it's all the best without strife. Only blue skies, no more red eyes, no more fears, no more tears, but unending years of blissful joy. To our delight, all made right by the power of His might. No night, no fight, no hunger, no thirst, the last will be first. Are not our hearts burning with this very yearning? So sinner, so believer, rise up from the dead, not in body, but through hope instead, as we celebrate this day, this wonderful way that Jesus made for us. It's called trust. It's a must to experience all that we've said, so that one day when your head lay down on death's bed, knowing He died in our stead, you can close your eyes to the dark skies and open them to the prize of the sunrise. What's it like to wake up from the dead? Our stone rolled away. It's Resurrection Day. The Savior's face, a wonderful place. Victory in Jesus, the final say. And that's it.
Amen.